Hello, 45 Alpha Charlie Papa, and today we're going to take a look at something kind of interesting to me. There's a lot of information out there. The internet's a wonderful place, and you can find quite a bit of information out there, but not everything is on the internet. Unfortunately, sometimes you have to dig a little deeper. If you want to know the history on some guns, sometimes you need to find some old periodicals. Now, one of the things that I like to do when I go to flea markets and stuff is see if I can't find some older gun magazines. I find some very interesting information in those gun magazines. I've got this American Rifleman here from December of 1988, talking about Ruger's P85 1 year later, and there's a really fascinating article on the Ruger P series and how it came about and how durable and how they tested it. Very interesting article in here. Another article in here, Firearm Laws as Made in Japan, and another interesting read. Kind of giving you an idea of firearm laws in other countries. Again, you still have guns in the election. You see a lot of that kind of stuff, and then you find some really interesting ads too. Look, a new R Precision Dillon Precision RL 550B Progressive for only $249.95. So that one's got some interesting things in it. Another one here I found. I used this magazine when I talked about my Ruger Standard in that video. This is where I got some of the information from. The first Ruger pistols. Well, the first Ruger pistol was the Ruger Standard, and it had some really good insight and really great information in there. This is from 1996, not as far back as the other one, but interesting nonetheless. We've got another Guns and Ammo here. This one's kind of interesting, 1980, how to customize the 98 Mauser, and it goes in there and details how to do a trigger job and stuff on a Mauser, something you would not probably find in today's magazines. Because everybody's so afraid of being sued. Somebody might try it and not work, and somebody gets a leg shot off, and somebody gets sued. But some really neat information in here. Regarding customizing and sporterizing a Mauser. Not that I would sporterize a Mauser now, they're getting hard to get, but back in the day, that's what people used to do. And it's something that maybe you find an older gun that is beat up, and there's some information in there that can help you out. Another one here. This one's kind of got an interesting article on it. The sun sets on British gun owners. This is 1989. Tells all about how the British lost most of their gun rights and most of the guns that they had. Very fascinating reading. It gives you an idea of what's going on and the tricks that were used then and things to look out for now so that we can preserve our Second Amendment rights. Another one here that I picked up, William Ruger and his legacy. Again, talks about some of his early guns and some of the other guns. Very fascinating read. But here's the one that I wanted to bring to you. This one was probably the best $1.50 I ever spent. This is a 1956 edition of Guns magazine by High Hunter. This is their catalog. This is a mail order company. Where it was a mail order company. High Hunter. A lot of people know that name. They used to bring in a lot of very inexpensive European revolvers and Dillingers. Not a lot of them are around anymore. They were kind of pot metal. They were one of the reasons for the 1968 Gun Control Act to try to eliminate Saturday night specials, because some of these would probably be considered that they're pretty cheap, inexpensive pistols. Something that you would only use for a few hundred rounds, and they would probably end up breaking and not be any good anymore. But I just found this one very, very fascinating. And let's kind of delve into what gun buying was like in 1956 instead of on the internet, because you didn't have internet then. You had mail order catalogs, and you'd go rifle through these catalogs to find some different things. So let's see what we got here. Let's go our first tab here. Oh, look at that. We've got some really wonderful pricing. Boy, I wish I could buy some of this stuff at this pricing here. We've got let's see, 98 Mauser Sporter for $165. We've got another 98K military 8mm Mauser, very good, in and out, for $42.50. We've got a 1914 Enfield for $29.50. Wonderful prices. If I could go back in my Wayback Machine, buy some of these old rifles, that would be really cool. Lever actions here. But that just kind of gives you an idea of some of the stuff they were carrying and how they were doing it. We've got some used modern rifles. They've got a lot of military surplus here. $29.95, $42.50, $34.50. So some great used modern rifles that you could have bought. And I'll show you here the order form here. It would be so simple back then. You didn't have all the rigmarole you have to go through now. One of the more fascinating things, and every time I open this book, I find more and more interesting tidbits and stuff. It's the Scotland Yard guns. This was very unique. They bought 7,000 revolvers that were purportedly taken off of thugs and scallywags in over 50-year period at Scotland Yard. Now, 3,000 of these were so bad that they just threw them up on their wall to draw customers. They threw them up on the ceiling here. And you could buy them off the ceiling if you wanted to. They just bought this huge lot of guns, not knowing exactly what they were going to get. There was a lot of junk in there. There were some gems in there, but again, there was a lot of junk. One thing that you could do here, you can just get a varied selection of stuff that they'd never heard of before. And not only did you get if we bought these and you get the gun, but you would get a certificate of a notarized certificate saying that these were Scotland Yard guns, and you got a gun from a criminal from Scotland Yard, and it would be notarized and everything. We've got here just a generic sampling of guns. You can get 2 different Scotland Yard guns for $17.50. 10 different Scotland Yard guns for $65. It was just kind of the luck of the draw. You sent your money in and they picked out, however many you wanted and sent them to you. It was very, very fascinating. It's just kind of fascinating the way that they turned kind of lemons into lemonade. Because there was probably a lot of lemons, although they did guarantee that these were functional for the most part anyway. But very interesting stuff here. You've got several European folding trigger revolvers. I've never seen a folding trigger revolver in person. Very interesting. No trigger guard. The trigger would just fold. You throw it in your pocket and go. Some more. You've got some British stuff here. Some British chrome good, British blue, just Adams patents, Webleys. Just some interesting old British guns in here. And as they kind of found the better stuff, they listed it. But it's just very fascinating what you would find in this magazine. They've got automatic pistols and just miscellaneous stuff that you would never find. Now, High Hunter, as they were bringing in all these other pistols, because they would just a lot of times buy lots of just multiple pistols. It wasn't like today where they were buying a lot of Mosin Nagants, or you're buying a lot of whatever. It could have been Makarovs, Bulgarian Makarovs, and everything was divided. You bought a lot of Chinese SKSs. No, you would just buy a lot of these guns that were coming in from police forces or wherever. And then they'd also bring in some very cheaply made German and European guns to sell. These frontier 6-shooters, like the Old Wests, High Hunter brand and stuff. And they weren't necessarily the best quality, but You know, they give you that feeling of the old West. You know, another thing that I found in here, they've got some, you know, famous Western reward signs. You were selling reward signs. This is kind of interesting here. This is a concealed carry quick draw holster. This is the in your pants holster, and you kind of see the guy's pants are down here, where it would tuck in your pants and had a belt that actually held it up instead of a clip on your other belt. So, you know, very interesting, you know, quick draw holster. Just, you know, the inside the waistband holster of the day. You know, several different holsters throughout here. And then, yeah, they kind of get into, towards the back of the book, they start showing, you know, some old World War II stuff. And here you've got a small arms warehouse in Europe. Look at all these guns stacked up, so nice and neat. You know, just surplus guns that were getting ready to be shipped over here. And you can see why in the 50s and 60s and 70s, you know, there were so many Mausers available out there, and they were so inexpensive, why people would buy them and sporterize them, and why you find so many sporterized Mausers and World War II guns of the day, because it was cheaper to buy that than to go out and buy an actual hunting rifle. But you know, several different M1 Grands, other collectibles, German MG17s, Browning automatic rifles, all kinds of cool stuff in here, showing you the guns of the day. And then just to show you kind of how easy it was back in the day in order, here's your order form. Name, address, state, city, you know, your post office. You put in here the item number you were looking at, describe it, what it was, how much, you know, what the caliber was, how much each in your total. And earlier in the book, they would tell you when you were ordering, you know, pick out 3, you know, your first choice, second choice, third choice, because again, this was mail order. So, you know, you were sending stuff, you're sending your order off in the mail, and, you know, they would get it. And if that one was sold out, they'd give you your second choice, or if that one was sold out, your third choice, or if that, you know, they may contact you, say, hey, you know, we don't have it. Would you like something else? But, that was your order form. This is the coolest part here. This is all you had to do to buy a gun. I hereby state that I am a citizen of the United States, and I have never been convicted in any court of the United States and the several states, territories, possessions, or District of Columbia with a crime of violence, nor am I at present under indictment or a fugitive from justice. Sign and date it, put your age down, and send your money, and they would send it right to your door. But this is 45 Charlie Papa. Just thought it was kind of an interesting note through history. Yeah, these Maharaja rifles on the back here, beautiful rifles. And back in 1956, these rifles were going for $4,500 and up. I've never seen anything as nice as this. I can't imagine if somebody's got one of these in collections what they would go for now. They were just absolutely beautiful rifles, but they did sell everything from low end to high end. But again, you know, 45 Alpha Charlie Papa, you know, look at your flea marks. There's information out there that you can't find on the internet, in some of these old gun magazines. And it's, you know, these things are slowly going by the wayside. So I suggest you find them, get them, you know, read that stuff, get that information out there so other people can learn from it. But this is 45 Hours with Charlie Papa, and I am out.
Thanks for watching. Please subscribe.